This is P1 listener James Elliott, and you're watching the X Factor podcast. Brought to you by Bottom Gun Coffee. Now be different or be invisible.
Welcome, everybody, to the X Factor podcast, episode numero 48,
48,
49,
48.
48. 48.
It's 48.
And we're talking about X Factor practical jokes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 100%.
And where are we, John?
We are live in Vegas. You know, you've always seen me in a square on a screen, and now I am here. We are in the recording studios of Coach Brew's recording studios. I am live. I'm here. I'm in Maine.
Your parole officer let you cross state lines.
He did. The ankle bracelet, it was cut off just a week ago, and I was able to travel. So
That's awesome.
I'm up here, and I'm excited to check out Maine. And it's not cold. I thought it'd be cold in Maine in October, but it's like 70 degrees out here. Understand? You're still cold. We have props, by the way. Normally we don't have props. We got pumpkin spice.
I never named my pumpkin spice pillow.
What would you name it if you could?
Sarah? We're going to name my pumpkin spice pillow after the P1 listener who sent me the pumpkin spice pillow. Shout out Sarah Swenson.
Very nice, Sarah. Great gift.
So super comfy.
Yeah.
I thought this was a straw. I'm like, why are there two straws? It's a cinnamon stick or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. Got that. I feel like a Jawa from Star Wars.
You kind of
Got
look
the
like
hood
one.
on. I got the beady eyes, sunglasses. It's a good day though, JR.
What makes today a good day?
Well, we started the morning with a little Bottom Gun coffee.
We did, as always.
Shout out to bottomguncoffee.com, our fabulous sponsor.
Yes.
Shout out to Ahab's Revenge.
Uh,
You're Mr. Breakfast Blend.
I'll take the
though.
breakfast
Yeah,
blend.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's still good either way. Depends on if you want that, you know, that heavy caffeine content. or not.
So I don't even know what to say at this point because we don't have Parker.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Where's Parker?
yeah, I was just gonna look underneath your desk to see why he's not there like he is at peak demand.
Normally he's under my desk, but he's not here today. I don't know where he is. Actually, he's probably working today. It's recorded. We're recording this on a Friday.
Do you feel lonely without him?
It is. It feels like I'm missing an appendage. I mean, not an important appendage, like
Like a hemorrhoid. Like a hemorrhoid fell off.
That's what it feels
Okay.
like. It feels good. Yeah.
I have always referred to Parker as he's basically the pimple on your ass you just can't reach.
Yes.
So, Parker, if you're watching this while you're preparing to edit it or delete it, whichever you prefer, just wanted to say hello.
We miss you.
And that's what you call a little white lie. So we're talking X Factor practical jokes. I almost wanted to play a practical joke on you, but I thought I would just stick to the subject matter at hand.
All right. That sounds good. I mean, you could, but
Maybe later.
all right.
So, JR, my X Factor practical joke.
Yes.
I mean, there were a lot of really good ones I could have chosen.
All right.
You know, like mail-in ballots. I really thought that was a practical joke. Turns out it wasn't a joke. It was a very real thing.
It was a real thing.
Yeah.
And now it's the law in certain states.
Yeah.
California. Yeah.
Way to go, Newsom.
Hey, he's reelected. It feels so good.
Reunited, reelected. So yeah, there are a lot of different practical jokes.
Yeah.
You know. But I chose to go with one that, well, ever since we sort of introduced, and I do believe because America is superior,
Yeah.
that we invented guerrilla warfare.
Oh, 100%.
I believe we invented guerrilla warfare during the American Revolution.
100%. Yeah, that's
Because
exactly
we did
it.
not stand in a row and shoot the redcoats and then let them take their turn at shooting us. We took the fight to the woods and the streets, and we found a way to not play their game and win.
Yeah.
So I would say that they've never been the same since. Would you agree?
No, they've fallen from grace. I mean, they're a shell of their former self. I mean, the British Empire is now, reduced to just a few nations. Yeah.
Don't feel bad. We're right behind you. We're on our way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our cautionary tale for our country, isn't it?
But I do think, you learn from these experiences.
Yes.
And during World War II, the British
Yeah.
knew they could not compete with Germany.
Yeah.
I mean, the German army was the most dominant force in all of Europe.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
And I don't know a whole lot about military history, so I just made that up. But is that accurate?
Very much so. Yeah.
Okay. So I do know a whole lot about military history. Good. I'll make some other shit up.
Well, they were technologically advanced. They had great scientists. They were inventing new ways to kill people. I mean, essentially, whether it was
COVID?
So, no, that was the Wuhan lab.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it came from a bat.
Right, a bat.
A
Sorry.
bat had sex with a pangolin.
Pangolin. Yeah.
And then a pangolin molested a human, and
Right.
then we got COVID-19, which I can't wait for the midterms when we get to see what COVID-22 is like.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun.
So, John.
Yeah. Good.
The British couldn't compete
No.
head to head directly with the Nazis, right? With the Germans.
Yep.
So I would like to think they learned a thing or two from their defeats or their defeat at the hands of #America in the American Revolution.
Yes.
So
I hope they did. Hope they learned something.
what they did was they invented during World War II and smuggled a very intense, strong itching powder into the Third Reich. Now,
Wait, what?
yeah, itching powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Not gunpowder,
right.
not bullets, not tanks,
Right.
not bombs. Itching powder.
All right. I like this.
So before I go any further, I don't while I am a military history scholar, apparently, I don't know what the Third Reich is.
Yeah.
The only Reich I know is Frank Reich, who used to be a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, what about Frank Lloyd Wright?
Frank Lloyd Wright, wasn't he?
Architect?
He was the first president of the U.S. No, it was Benjamin Franklin. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. No, so what was the Second Reich? What was the First Reich? What are all these Reichs?
I don't know. I don't know much about it.
What's the Third Reich?
Something Hitler came up with. He was trying to restore the Third Reich, right?
Okay.
So those of you listening, especially our Factor P1 listeners, you probably send us a text or a tweet. Tell us what the Third Reich's all about, because I don't know much about it.
So the Brits
Yep.
Invented and smuggled strong itching powder into the Third Reich and applied the powder to the underclothes of the Nazis. It's like their underpants, their undershirts, the thermal underwear, I imagine.
Yeah.
Itching powder. And what would be worse than if you put on quote underclothes that had itching powder on them. What would be worse? What could you put on that had itching powder on it that would suck worse than undergarments with itching powder on them?
Like toilet paper would be kind of rough.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
You get IBS, itchy butt syndrome.
I thought that was irritable bowel
Oh,
syndrome.
that's right.
IBS.
That's right.
Yeah, I have IBS.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Um,
Didn't need to know that.
well, it itches right now. No. So besides toilet paper.
I don't know. It's got to be something like that.
Yeah.
Eye drops. You're doing eye drops. Something that
would
would be,
suck. Yeah.
I don't know. Talcum powder. We talked about talcum powder.
Well, I mean, I think itching powder is.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't. We're not talking about powder. We're talking about applying the itching powder to something.
Well, that's what I was saying. You dump it in their
Yeah.
talcum powder, and it would end up in
Everywhere.
Yeah.
In their nether regions.
In the nether regions.
Yes.
Yes.
How about?
Which is, by the way, nether regions is near France. By the way.
Yes, it is. They have the wooden shoes, right?
They do, yes.
And all the windmills.
100%.
How about condoms?
No.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, they applied it to the Germans' prophylactics,
Ah.
their condoms, and their underclothes.
Oh my gosh.
You can't beat them.
Make them itch?
Make them itch.
Really? So this is a true story.
This is
You're
a
not
true
making this up.
story. No,
This
it's
is
a
a-
very true story.
You're not putting an X Factor practical joke on me with this
No.
story?
No.
All right.
And I mean, I think that it underscores the fact that they've never recovered from their loss at the hands of the Americans, the American Revolution. But I admire their resourcefulness.
Well, they learned.
You can't compete head to head.
Yeah.
Do something to throw the top dog off his game.
Yeah, I mean, and there's something to be said about that from a for those that are listening in that are entrepreneurs, business owners, or what have you, and you're dealing with very large competitors, like the UK was dealing with a very large competitor in Germany. Instead of going head to head, they said, well, what other way can we irritate our enemy? And the question is, how can you irritate the large competitors in your industry? So,
Yeah.
I mean, someone says that
Poking the bear, so to speak.
yeah. So there's like I don't know, there's a meme or something that says that if you don't think small things can be effective, just remember that mosquito that's in the room with you and how annoying it can be. So one mosquito can annoy, something much larger. So what can you do as a business to annoy, irritate your competition to the point that it distracts them and keeps them off their game? That's a great question.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of something similar to that in business, but you can certainly apply that kind of idea in your competitive, plans against your opponents in the industry.
I think you see it a lot with companies like on social media.
Which ones?
So companies will troll one another.
Oh yeah. This is fun.
Like Wendy's.
Yeah.
Like Wendy's.
Yeah.
They would troll all the other fast food places.
Yeah. Or like they were making fun of Chick-fil-A. Like Wendy's was saying something like, yeah, if you want a chicken sandwich in the Sunday, you can always come
Exactly.
here. So they're trolling their
And
rivals.
Wendy's is not number one. They're not Germany.
Right.
They didn't bomb Pearl Harbor.
No, they didn't.
Wendy's, Germany did, right?
Right.
Remember when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
I'll never forget it.
There's a movie quote. Do you remember that?
From Animal House.
Animal House.
Yeah.
The German, no, leave him alone. He's rolling.
He's on a roll. Yes, great movie, Animal House. I gotta watch that again.
So I do think you see that, like the fast food, kind of the burger wars. When you're not top dog,
Yeah.
you've got to find a quote guerrilla way
Yeah.
get the point across on limited budget and kind of poke the bear, so to speak.
Yeah, I
And they're
read.
better at it than everybody else.
Right, right. Yeah, one of the things I read a book while back about how to compete as a small company, and one of the things it said is try
Is
to.
that stadium status
That is a great book, and can you see it? It's over there. It's actually on that bookshelf right there.
or beyond stadium status?
It's also on that bookshelf back there.
Which one of them was the one that you read about how to compete as a small business? Now I'm curious.
I can't remember the name of
Stroke
the
my
book.
ego.
Competing as a small business.
Was it the coach approach?
No, it wasn't.
Seeds of Success?
I don't recall it. No, it wasn't that. No, it might have been all in the same boat.
Book.com.
But what it said was, how can you, as a small company, you can go out on thin ice where the large corporations can't venture out onto that thin ice. So what's the thin ice in your industry? Where can you go where the big guys don't dare to go because they're going to go under? And that's the same thing, I think, with this story is where are the places you can go as a small player that the big players can't go because there's too much risk for them. And
Or they can't move as fast to get there.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So a lot of ways that you can change, some ways is speed, some ways is customer service, some ways are options that or customization or much more sensitive to customer needs versus the big guys who want to make a more standardized product, special colors, special what have you, but customizing a solution specific to a customer. What are the things that are the thin ice in your industry that the big guys don't dare to go? That's where you can compete and win. So
I got a little personal question for you, JR.
yeah, sure.
We're talking about itching powder. And now I'd like to shift gears a little bit and talk just about itching.
Okay.
So do you have a go-to or preferred ointment or powder, like when you've got a little, it's a sweaty summer day in North Carolina, you're out like with the push mower mowing the lawn,
Yeah.
doing a little work in the yard, and you start to get that chub rub where like there's friction in the inside of your thighs and you got a little bit of a rash.
No,
What's your go-to to treat that?
I don't think I've ever had that. But
Or like, maybe you got a little swamp ass. What's your go-to to treat that stuff? Jock itch, athlete's foot. What, like, when you got an itch,
Oh.
what's your go-to to treat it?
Ting.
Ting?
It's a brand. It's a brand of for
You use some ting?
Yes, I use some
When
Ting.
something wrong?
When something wrong, I use Ting to solve it. Gets rid of athlete's foot, all that fun fungus and fun stuff. Yeah, Ting.
That's good.
Yeah, why?
I just
You
wondered.
Strange.
I'm a big fan of the maximum strength triple gold bond powder
Oh yeah.
in the green canister.
Oh wow.
Man, that stuff is like Christmas for your junk. It is great.
I've never tried it.
Oh, it is great.
I've never had Christmas for my junk. Maybe
That's why I wondered.
maybe I need Christmas.
Triple action gold bond, maximum strength in the green can.
X Factor talcum powder.
X Factor ointments.
Ointments. Wow, that's like episode 48 and a half. We didn't even plan that one.
We should just call this one X Factor TMI.
Yes.
So, shifting gears, what is your X Factor practical joke?
Well, I think the one that's probably the one that's most famous is the War of the Worlds, where they played on the radio. The aliens were invading, and some people took it serious, and all that. You know the story. You know the thing.
The aliens are invading? You're talking about the southern border this week? What are we talking about? The aliens have been invading there since Biden got in office.
Well, it's not an invasion if you let them in, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So, but that was probably the most famous, practical joke that went viral back before the internet was around,
Yep.
right? So, but I took a newer approach. I thought this was a pretty good story because it has a business lesson in it, and that is on April Fool's Day in 1998. And of course, anytime you see an ad on April Fool's, you probably should.
98. So you're like in your 70s.
98, yes, I was
Okay.
in my early 70s back
Yes.
then, yeah. But Burger King published a full page ad in the USA Today.
The
I-
McPaper.
Yes,
Ironically.
the big papers, which is
Yeah.
what I call it too.
Yeah.
It's funny. They announced a brand new product on their menu, brand new menu item, the Left-Handed Whopper, specially designed for the 32 million left-handed Americans.
There's that many?
Well, according to the article.
Is it like 1 out of 100 people's a lefty? Something like that?
Yeah, that would
God.
make about 3 million in the country. So
It's 32 million people. That's like 1/3 of the amount of people that voted for Joe Biden.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, you're talking about dead or alive? Okay.
Dead or alive?
Well, the dead voters. How many? Of
Oh
those
yeah.
are-
I mean, that was probably at least 50.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they announced a left-handed Whopper, and the new Whopper, and this is what was in the ad. So the new Whopper includes the same ingredients as the original Whopper, which is lettuce, tomato, hamburger, what have you. However, and this is what's in the ad, all the condiments are rotated 180 degrees, therefore redistributing the weight of the sandwich so that the bulk of the condiments would skew to the left, which is similar to our government, thereby reducing the amount of lettuce and other toppings spilling out of the right side of the burger. An amazing invention for left-hand eaters. And Jim Watkins, their senior vice president of marketing, said, "This new sandwich is the ultimate have it your way for our left-handed customers." So they announced the Left-Handed Whopper. And so people saw this on April 1st in 1998 and probably said, it's got to be an April Fool's joke, right? This isn't real,
Yeah.
right? No. Thousands of people went into their local Burger Kings demanding the Left-Handed Whopper. In fact, people got upset, and people were thousands more were asking for their right-handed version of the Whopper. And
I remember that because I remember people thinking they were getting rid of the right-handed version of the Whopper, and they
people
were
were
worried.
upset about it. People were
They were
upset.
worried. Yeah.
They were getting rid of the right-handed version of the Whopper to replace it with a left-handed version.
So we're not only dumb,
Yeah.
we're gullible.
Oh yeah. As a nation, and I think in 1998 we were probably less gullible than we are today, right?
Which is scary because that was 23 years ago.
Yeah, 23 years ago.
Yeah.
See, because back then we didn't have fact checkers checking this stuff and making sure there was a little disclaimer underneath there saying that fact checkers have investigated this and found out there is no such thing as a left-handed Whopper.
More importantly, JR, who
Yeah.
fact checks the fact checkers today?
I don't know. They're like the censors of yesterday, right?
The thought police.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dream Police.
At the time of this recording, I'm not kidding, the book 1984 by George Orwell is an Amazon bestseller. No free shout outs, Amazon. I still hate you.
I got in so much trouble at lunch today or it was breakfast today, because I took out my Amazon credit card.
And what did you do to redeem yourself? You paid for breakfast.
I paid for breakfast.
The food always tastes better when you're not paying for it, but you know, it is an Amazon Prime credit card.
Shout out. Hey, look, I like,
Let's stop giving them free shout outs.
we should,
We
but
need a code. We need a safe word.
safe word, don't say
Yeah.
Bezos. All right. Yeah, so the left-handed Whopper, as you can imagine, is not a thing because there is no left or right side to a Whopper. However, what did it do? And
It's bipolar.
it is.
Yes.
What is two poles like
It's
the Earth?
nonpartisan. There's no lefty Whopper and righty Whopper.
There is no, a Whopper is a Whopper is a Whopper. It's like the America. It should be that
You're a
way.
fan of the alt-right Whopper.
The alt-right, the Trump Whopper.
Comes with a free tiki torch to keep it warm.
We're gonna get in trouble. But there's a business lesson here, right?
There is.
I hope so. We came this far. I'm hoping there's a business lesson.
I'm all ears.
Well, I mean, look at the publicity that Burger King got from this one event, right? So they did something kind of weird, original, and creative. I mean, coming up with the idea of a left-handed Whopper versus a right-handed Whopper is kind of fun, and it caused some stir, caused some controversy. It got them on the nightly news, you know, the stories of people looking for their left-handed Whopper. And what did they get?
Have you seen my left-handed Whopper? Have you seen my baseball?
Yes.
Here's what I want to know. I want to know how much they spent on the ad campaign versus
Right.
how much free media they got after the ad
That's
campaign.
it. So
I
that's
bet they
it.
got exponentially more
That's it.
free media after.
So that's an example where you pay for some media play, but it just the viralness of it gives you a multiplier, right? Because it's so unusual and so
Yep.
authentic and so unique that people talk about it and ends up on the nightly news, and you get this extra growth effect. And next thing you know,
You have an
everyone-
extra growth?
I don't have an extra growth. I mean,
Just put some ting on it.
something.
Put some ting on it. If something's wrong,
Yes.
put some ting on it.
Yes. So how do you do that in your business? So that's a great question. You know, how do you do something that has I think companies are doing this a lot. You're seeing people trying to be more, create something so unusual that it gets a viral nature to it. And but I think, I don't know about you, but
I don't know about me either.
I really don't. Virality, like, I don't know how you figure out if something's going to go viral or not. The strangest things go viral,
Yep.
right? And it's
Beer,
hard.
beer, truck, truck.
Yeah, that's a great story.
So here's the interesting thing, John.
Yeah.
I forget what I was going to say. What were you just saying?
About how things you don't know what's going to go viral.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't remember. I swear we're sober too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we're so.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Tonight's a different story.
That's a different story.
No, it's just there's no predicting virality,
Right.
first of all. So it's not like going viral is not a good business model.
No.
Well, I remember what I was going to say. Everybody does the traditional sales.
Yeah.
Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you know, the New Year,
Columbus Day.
Columbus
yeah,
Day,
Yeah. It's
all that.
Yeah.
Why not do some crazy, outrageous, dare I say, X Factor practical joke
Yeah.
on a non-traditional, I wouldn't even call it a holiday, but it's just a day, April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
So why not do something X Factor on that day where it's not as crowded,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's true. Everybody's doing a deal on the major holidays. What can you do different? You know, what you create your own version of, you know, even if it's just,
National Rennie Day
yeah, Friday the 13th.
for all
sale.
you renegades out there.
Is that what my fans are?
That's what your fans are. They're renegades.
Oh,
Yeah.
renegades.
Renegades.
Oh, sorry.
Renegade.
Oh,
Renegades.
Yeah. I like that. Renegades. Don't like the other one.
No.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great practical joke.
What was that?
Left-handed Whopper.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's funny because it's like,
Did McDonald's retaliate in any way?
you know, you'd be asking if I did more than 10 minutes research before this episode. So the answer to that question is I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
if they're smart, they would have.
yeah, they would have done something
Yeah.
to do like a,
We have an ambidextrous Big Mac.
or we have Big Mac Braille. With a sesame seed you can read on
The
top.
Whopper had the sesame seed bun. The Big Mac didn't, did it?
No, it didn't. But they added sesame seeds that you can read in Braille.
Did they?
No.
Did they really?
No.
That's brilliant.
I was thinking as a counter.
Oh, I'm gullible. I believed you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I don't know if we should do in studio in the future.
Yeah, this is good. I like in studio. I like in
I
studio.
like it too.
So yeah, X Factor practical jokes. How can you play a practical joke internally, externally, within your company, with your competition, with your customers? Paint your customers into the picture with that.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Get them going around and telling people you have a left-handed hamburger or whatever your version of the left-handed hamburger is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just try to get some interest in it. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of some other companies that have done this, but
Well, Burger King. Yeah, Burger King did the black
the black
Whopper at
yeah.
Halloween a couple of years ago. It was a black bun
I remember that.
with the sesame seeds on it.
Yeah,
And the sesame seeds were white, and like they had that spooky music in the commercial. And I mean, novelty effect is a great way to drive people to your door. They got people who just wanted to show up and see, is it real?
Right.
And if it is, I want to try it and taste it and see if it tastes different.
Yeah. I mean, Cheetos seems to always be coming out with some weird, different, super spicy, different, flavors or what have you to be unique. Some of those are, I mean, most of those are real, but I mean, I think, what we're talking about is more like a fake or a hoax or, and building the whole campaign around it, which is kind of fun to do. But I think the whole idea of going left and right hand is kind of a funny thing, because I think at that time in our country, there were more and more things coming out that were left-handed. You're like, oh, lefties are people too. And
it's a right-handed world.
It's a right-handed world.
Me, on the other hand, I'm amphibious. I can use my left or my right hand to do anything.
Yeah.
100% amphibious.
I like that.
Yeah. My runner-up X Factor practical joke.
What's that?
Has to be when I convinced our young, incredibly Amish, gullible podcast producer that Judas Priest was a Christian rock band, and their album Live from the Vatican would absolutely be his favorite music.
Right.
And he believed that.
100%.
He wrote it down. He's like, oh, cool, thanks. And then after the show, he's like, wait, are you pulling my leg or is that for real? Like, you can't make that up, Parker. No. That's real. And he went on iTunes looking for the album. That's my runner-up X Factor practical joke.
P1 listeners, which episode is that where we got where Coach Brew got Parker on the Live at the Vatican Judas Priest?
That just teed itself up so easily for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Did you have a runner-up?
No. I mean, I liked the War of the Worlds, that whole, but that's been overplayed. People talk about it all the time. I went with the Left-Handed Whopper just because it has a great business analogy, but it does, War of the Worlds, Left-Handed Whopper just shows how gullible people really are and how people want to believe in something like that. So play to that gullibility, have some fun with it. I mean, create a, again, maybe it's just me, but I want to be following a brand that does some things that are kind of fun.
Yeah. It doesn't take themselves too seriously.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think that's something that you can learn from your brand. How do you make it not take itself so seriously? So that's kind of fun. I love to see like the Wendy's and the Taco Bell having like these little Twitter wars, kind of entertaining. It gives the brand some personality. So don't be boring.
Be different.
Or be invisible.
There you have it. And there it is. This has been episode number 48-ish. And episode 48.
Yeah, right.
And it's been brought to you by our friends at Bottom Gun Coffee. You can head on over to bottomguncoffee.com, get yourself some delicious breakfast blend.
Yep.
Or some Ahab's Revenge.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Montezuma's Revenge. Two totally different things, folks. It's all good. See you next episode.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go check your penis. Go.
This is P1 listener Drew Hashimura, and you're listening to the X Factor podcast, where I come for great book recommendations.